Madam Deepika Reddy, my general manager colleagues, Mr. Ramesh, Mr. Maya and the dais, Mr. Raju and his team, and all my colleagues here who are gathered in large number. It's a very, very warm good evening to all of you. It's wonderful to see all the women here who have turned out in good number. To all of you, once again, a happy Women's Day. Like the compeer mentioned, it's a day to celebrate womanhood. It gives immense pleasure to be organizing an event of this nature and participating. And I'm sure there was also, I was in another event in the morning, we were chatting up, and then someone said that every day is dedicated to women after all. No day passes without being in touch with a mother or a sister or a wife. Is something which we always celebrate every day. But it's also important, like even for the gods, we have days. So obviously we need to have a day, although every single day is, we would like to celebrate womanhood, without which I don't think the Mother Earth, without Mother Earth, of course, we are not going to be around. So it's fit enough to be celebrated every day. But this kind of designated days gives a special focus to recall the contributions made by the women in the development of this society, in the development of each one of us, and to pay a tribute to the sacrifices which they make, and also they acknowledge the achievements which they do. Like we have the two guests of honor today, Ms. Deepika Reddy and then Ms. Malavat Purna, who will be joining us in a few minutes from now. Of course, there are several such accomplished women from this part of the country, and when we were doing a kind of a short listing, we were very happy that we came up with two of the best profiles from this place, and Madam is the recipient of the Sangeet Natak Academy Award this year. There are several accomplishments. I'm not going to say all that because I'm sure there's an AV which will list out all her achievements, and we will also be looking forward to hearing from her. So again, Purna is also a very accomplished mountaineer, the youngest woman to, or rather youngest girl we should say. At 13 years she climbed Mount Everest, and then she has already climbed 4 of the tallest peaks. We will talk to her, we'll talk about her when she also joins the event. And this Women's Day, like I said, we were chatting up in the previous event in the morning, traces its origin to 1909. I was not knowing that it is that old. I believe the Socialist Party of the US had desired to celebrate this in 1909, and the International Socialist Women's Conference started designating, that was on February 28th. Later in 1917, I believe in Russia, the March 8th was, they started celebrating March 8th as a designated Women's Day, after the women got the adult franchise. It's so old, although of course UN seem to have recognized it as an International Women's Day much later. And as the compeer mentioned, and this year, every year, there is a theme under which this is celebrated, and the current year's theme is Think Equal, Build Smart and Innovate. I think it very rightfully describes the times of the day. And from State Bank of India, I am sure that all my women colleagues would know that in the last few years there have been tremendous amount of positive changes which have been enveloping us in making the life as comfortable as possible. I know that when both of them work, when typically for a working spouse, there is always a greater amount of challenge, and that is something which every organization is trying to mitigate as much as possible. State Bank of India, being a responsible corporate citizen, has taken several measures. We are one of the banks which have a large sabbatical leave which women employees can take for various reasons. It used to be granted once upon a time only for higher studies. Otherwise, for several personal comforts or discomforts today, that's being made available. And we do have a transfer policy which looks at this in a very favorable manner in terms of their disposition. And we also do as much as possible to make it easy for them in terms of their work-life balance. Although I'm sure that whatever we do is not enough, because the kind of sacrifice they all do is so much, and you all add variety to the work which we do, and we will be happy to receive suggestions from you on an ongoing basis. I'm sure there are forums within the bank which you can contribute in terms of what the bank can do or what we can do at our own level. We'll be definitely happy to examine those. And more importantly, I'm sure that there's one thing which many women employees, not in a bank like SBI, but I'm sure that in many organizations, women come under tremendous pressure in terms of the harassment. That is something which is being looked upon very, very seriously by the bank, and we do have a policy in place. I'm sure all of you would be aware. More importantly, I would like all of you to be aware that we have an internal committee headed by a women DGM here. I do not know how many of you are aware of that committee. I hope the head of the committee is present here. So we have a committee which you all should feel free to reach out and express at any point in time if you feel that any unfair treatment is being meted out to any one of you, because that is something which is completely a no-go for us. We will not accept that, and we will have to take steps to ensure that such kind of an unfair treatment does not exist in this place. State Bank is committed to that matter as a matter of policy, and the internal committee is not only functional in LHO, it's also functional in all the AOs and RPOs. It's all available in the Circle website. Kindly make use of that. One is, of course, make suggestions in terms of what we could do to make your life, the work-life balance, as easy as possible. Second is in terms of reporting of any unfair treatment which you might come across. While we are very conscious to avoid that, it's also likely that in certain pockets it could probably happening, but kindly take courage and report so that we can repair it as quickly as possible. And in terms of the clientele, we do several things, including a concessional interest rate for the women borrowers, and also we used to have dedicated branches, although they are no longer very successful. State Bank was one of the first of the banks to have dedicated branches for women customers. There are benefits available for women borrowers, and there are schemes, both that of the bank as well as the government, which we promote for women entrepreneurship. And also one of the largest movements, that is self-help groups which are financed by SBI Hyderabad Circle, and we have a lion's share in the entire country's SHG finance, and a fair amount of these SHGs are all women group. Because we very firmly believe that empowerment of women is the empowerment of society. So whatever best which we could do to ensure that their workplace is comfortable, their entrepreneurial skills are encouraged, their achievements are acknowledged, SBI would like to do as much as we can, because whatever act we do, we know that it pales in significance to the contribution sacrifices the womanhood makes. So with that, of course, I would once again thank you, madam, for your kind presence here. It's a great honor for us, and I also thank all the women employees and officials, and also the spouses who have chosen to be here today to grace this occasion. Once again, wishing you all happy Women's Day. Of course, men folk are today outnumbered. I'm sure that we don't have a separate celebration for you all. But in any case, I'm sure that we have our day under the sun every day. So wish you all once again a happy Women's Day, and thank you very much for being present today. Thank you.